All right, we are officially live. Welcome to another session of Star Trek Explorers. This is going to be episode number 11. And this series is about the exploits of the USS Venture, a Galaxy class starship. And tonight's session, I'm actually going to be running one of the scenarios in this book right here, the new Shackleton Expanse Campaign Guide that it came out on PDF a few months back, but the physical copies are out in the wild now, just in the last couple of weeks. And so I'm going to be running the first of the original series scenarios included in this book called Bacchus's Irresistible Call. But before we jump in with the scenario, let's start out with a role play scene on the USS Venture. It is New Year's Eve, the evening of New Year's Eve, as the Earth Standard Calendar is about to flip from the year 2265 to the year 2266 at midnight. And almost everyone who is off duty on the Venture is gathering in the Langdon Memorial Arboretum aboard the ship for a New Year's Eve party. There are several crewmen who are playing as a classical ensemble, playing chamber music very skillfully and tastefully. And occasionally, Chief Engineer Tasai stands up and recites some Vulcan poetry to the edification of the crowd. And the camera pans across the lively gathering to our three main characters. So since it's been several months since we've gotten together to play Star Trek Adventures, I'll have you guys introduce your characters and sort of describe how he is mingling at this New Year's party. So we'll start with Miguel. You're first on my screen. Go ahead and introduce your character and let us know what he's doing during the New Year's party.
All right, I am Chief Medical Officer Bayram Ozil. And what I'm doing at the party is, as everything is getting counted down, I am making sure I have my own bottle of champagne. No glasses, a bottle of champagne. And people are wondering where my glass is. I'm like, nope, this is for me. Don't worry.
And is it synthahol or is it genuine? Is it something that you had
Oh,
maybe brought
this
from
is
Earth?
cost error, so it is genuine. Because I think it really gets into like 40 or 80 years later in the TNG timeline for that.
Something you had stashed in ship supplies for a special occasion, no doubt.
Yeah, there's also the fact that I'm a space doctor, so I always have to have like medical whiskey, right?
Yeah, for medicinal purposes. There we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Dr. Ozil is sipping directly from a bottle of champagne, and the camera cuts to the commanding officer of the USS Venture, a human named Captain Robert Harriman. And go ahead and introduce your character, Paul.
Okay, yeah, I'm playing Captain Robert Harriman. He's the captain of the USS Venture. He's got 11 episodes under his belt at the moment, or 10, I believe. So yeah, he's starting to feel a lot more comfortable in his role as commanding officer now, being new to the job at the start of the series. New Year's parties and parties in general on the ship are kind of a tough time for him, because he knows that circulating amongst the crew generally can be a bit of a buzzkill for them. You know, when the captain suddenly shows up and conversation kind of dies. So he tends to sort of hang off to one side and wait for people to come up to him. And they do tend to be the senior officers more than the junior officers. But he's a reasonably sort of gregarious personality, so he doesn't sort of discriminate. So anybody who wants to come and chat to him, feel free.
And would that be Dr. Ozil?
Yeah, sure. I mean, as he comes out, I'll be like, "Hey, how you doing, Gappy?"
I'm guessing you're going to have some medication ready in the morning for that hangover you're going to be nursing there, Doc.
Don't worry. It's going to be nothing. Don't worry. Besides, what do you mean? We don't orbit Earth's sun around here, so when are you going to tell it's morning?
Whenever we decide to turn the lights on.
And the camera cuts to the Chief Tactical Officer, Lieutenant Commander Hando Han. And Yong, if you're on, go ahead and introduce your character and tell us what he's doing during the party.
Yeah, Hando's usually a happy-go-lucky guy, but this time you see him like leaning against the wall with his arms crossed, and he's looking a little bit sullen. and he sighs, and then he walks over to the captain and says, "Hey there, Captain. How you doing?"
I'm good. You're looking, let's say, not quite in a party mood. Is there a problem there?
Well, I don't know about it, Captain. I mean, we're so far away from Earth, and what is the meaning of a new year when you're so far removed from the sun? You know, when the Earth revolves around, the sun, and we're so far away from it. How does it all relate? I don't know. I mean, sometimes I just get this feeling when we're out here in deep space.
I know exactly what you mean, but we have to bring these traditions with us. It's how we keep ourselves grounded in what we grew up with.
I hear you, Captain, but I don't know. This year, or this whatever it is, I just don't feel like celebrating.
You really ought to have a word with the doctor. I hear that he's got his hands on something that's not quite synthahol, so maybe you need to, I don't know, loosen up a little.
Well, you're looking a little bit cheery than usual, Captain. What are you doing to cheer yourself up?
I'm doing the thing that cheers me up the most, which is taking a look at the crew that I've got and watching them enjoy themselves. We don't get the chance very often, so I like to make the most of it when we do.
He nods and he says, "Well, I just hope that people don't ask me to rap again."
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah, and he heads over to the doctor.
Hey, Hando. What's wrong? You look real dour.
Just the deep space blues, I suppose, Doctor. The captain says that you have something that may help me.
All right. You got a glass?
Oh, you mean you're going to pour me out of there? And then he
Listen,
points
I
at the
only
bottle
got one
that he's
bottle
drinking.
here. I was nursing it, but it looks like you need some pick-me-up.
Well, if you
I know
say
it's
so.
not soju, but it'll do.
It doesn't seem too sanitary to me
It's
to drink.
alcohol. It kills bacteria.
If the doctor says it, I believe you. All right, let me go and find a cup for myself. And he walks over, looking for a cup that he could use.
Yeah, Hondo, as you are crossing the arboretum to grab a glass, you notice that Ensign Tulak, an Andorian junior science officer, appears to be paying very close attention. You're in an arboretum, which is full of various plants from different worlds, but he seems to be paying very close attention to a particular shrub with like some translucent, colorful plants, some flowers growing in it, and he's sort of like combing through it, sort of inch by inch, and staring at it really closely.
What do you have there, Lieutenant Tulak?
When he hears you speak, he straightens up right away and says, nothing, Commander, nothing to see here. Everything's fine. Just, you know me, like to look at the plants."
Are you sure, Lieutenant? You look a little bit jittery.
Give me a presence plus command roll, Hondo, and this is going to be difficulty 0.
Okay. Presence plus command.
You're intimidating the junior officers again.
That's 10. I rolled 2d20s. It's been such a long time, I totally forgot how to play this game.
Yes, so roll 2d20s, and anything that is equal to or less than your target number is a success.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so it's difficulty 0. So you didn't need any, but you got 1. So that with that 1 extra success, you generate 1 point of momentum. To remind you, I start out with 2 points of threat for each player character, which means I start with a total of 6 threat. You now have 1 momentum as you size up this very nervous acting ensign, and you immediately know that he's lying to you, that he's hiding something, that he thinks something is definitely wrong.
Well, Lieutenant Tulak, how long have we been traveling together?
Well, about a year, sir.
You could tell me what's wrong. I mean, It seems like you're very concerned about something, about this plant.
Well, yeah, okay. I guess it's probably best if I just let you know. So you remember on the planet in the Tepkara system where we had that problem with all the androids who replaced some of the crew, like the captain?
Yeah,
Well, you
I
might
still have
recall.
nightmares about it.
Yeah. Well, maybe those nightmares are about to get worse. That planet featured truly diverse plant and animal life, and I took a sample of some mites that I found on the planet, and I was observing them, studying them. I was hoping to write an entomology paper to get published in the Federation science journals, but the mites kind of got out of their enclosure in my quarters, and I think they're probably somewhere here in the Arboretum because this has all the most abundant plant life of anywhere on the ship.
My God, man. Did you tell the captain about this?
No. No need to tell the captain. No need to tell the captain. I think they're probably mostly harmless. Probably.
Well, Lieutenant, this is the Federation, and there are rules and regulations that we must follow. And quarantining is vital because who knows what sort of disease or some out-of-control organisms may overtake us once more. We have to tell the captain about this.
Oh, come on, Commander. What if we just found the mites and I put them back in their enclosure in my quarters, and then we didn't have to tell anybody?
Lieutenant, there should be an inquiry about this, and I believe there ought to be consequences for your action.
So just at that moment, you kind of hear actually all three of you detect a little bit of an uproar as the chamber music suddenly stops very quickly, and there's a murmur that goes through the crowd, and someone starts saying like, "Oh my gosh, I'm itchy. I'm so itchy." People start like scratching like underneath their uniforms, almost like uncontrollably.
Ah, brother. I think we may have found your mites. What do you suggest that we do in order to bring them in?
Well, I know that they're attracted to some of the certain kinds of pollen in some of the flowers here in the Arboretum. I'm still trying to work on a way to get that to attract them into a trap.
All right. Well, work on it as quickly as possible. We'll discuss your consequences later.
So the murmur starts to spread outward. It starts to ripple outward throughout the crowd. As people all over the place are starting to itch uncontrollably.
Oh,
My God, what a buzzkill here.
Hando walks up to Dr. Ozil.
Yes, why is everyone scratching right now?
Dr. Ozil, you're an authority in xenobiology, aren't you?
Yes?
Well, it seems like Lieutenant Tulak has brought in an organism from the planet that we're in before.
The one where you ended up roundhouse kicking me, right?
I don't recall. I don't think it's a very important topic at the moment, Doctor.
Those things cause hallucinations and all of that. So you're telling me he brought that on board, and now everyone's having hallucinate. Yeah, he started to notice I'm starting to move back a bit.
Yeah, he actually approaches closer to Dr. Ozil. It's like, it seems like you're taking a couple of steps back away from me. No, I mean, we really need to discuss this.
Yeah. Yes. What I'm going to say is if it's exactly as you said from that planet, someone's going to start snapping out, and it's probably going to need to be, held down because they're probably going to start throwing punches, and it's not going to be some sort of a mean drunk sort of thing.
I don't know about that, Doctor, but definitely Lieutenant Tulak tells me that it has to do with mites that he's brought on board.
Mice?
mites, these small insects. And I believe, and he looks around, pointing at some of the people that are itching all around us. I think those organisms are responsible for all these people scratching.
Oh my God. You do realize we're going to have to quarantine the whole ship, right?
I do understand, Doctor.
If this is like Earth fleas and all of this, everyone's infected. Everyone's going to be taking baths. We're going to have to be doing like head scalp inspections for the next 6 months. We're also going to have to like change like all of our quarters, get that steam down, probably get that replicated. Captain is so going to be fussy about that.
We have to do something about the mites. Do we change the temperature to kill them, or how do we deal with them?
All right. The average temperature to go and kill a flea is going to basically be hot enough that it's going to cause brain damage in a human being. What makes you think we're going to do that? No, we're going to probably have to. I'm going to need you to get some security officers, make sure they wear suits, protective gear, and get these people that are scratching and itching straight to medical. We're going to have to go ahead, get this going, and check them out. Make sure we have means of ensuring these things get, off on them, and probably have to burn their uniform. So a fresh set of clothes too.
Understood. And he whips out his communicator and, pages his security personnel and says, Hando here, quarantine emergency. Equip yourself with personal protective gear and, come to the Arboretum. It seems like we have a bio breach.
So as soon as you send out that alert, Commander Han, all the lights come up in the Arboretum, the music is shut off, and a little biohazard alarm starts sounding. So in addition to people starting to itch uncontrollable, you also have this almost like confusion, mass confusion, almost on the verge of panic throughout the Arboretum.
I knew something like this would happen.
Okay.
Every time we have a party.
Yes. Don't worry. I'm still going to have the bottle in my hand. I'm going to just tell everyone, don't worry. Apparently, there's been an outbreak of fleas or mites. So we're going to get everyone that is feeling uncomfortable, all of this, please step to the side. We're going to make sure you're fine. You also get a fresh set of uniforms. Hey, look, you're going to start the new year off with a new set of clothes. Isn't that great?
Yeah, so that doesn't actually do a whole lot. When you start talking about this outbreak, this infestation, people actually start like yelling and screaming.
Okay, let's everybody calm down. We've got a small problem, but it's in hand. The medical team and our chief of security have got it in hand. Let's get the biohazard teams in here, Doctor. Let's get everybody run through.
Yeah, one second, Captain. What's the clock at?
We'll say it is 10 to midnight. Ship midnight.
We got 10 minutes to get this going. I'm not missing the new year.
Okay. Tell the biohazard teams to get here in 12 minutes. We can put up with some issues between now and then. That is all it's going to be, isn't it, Doctor?
Oh, no, I'm meaning is we can try to get this done quicker. I mean, the other thing is we have everyone's biosignatures keyed in the transporter, right?
You're suggesting we use the transporter to get rid of mites?
Well, if we teleport just...
do you wish to steam the whole ship, ensure all the beds are replaced and burned, all of this?
Okay, whatever you suggest, Doc.
Okay.
Let's see if we can make it through to the new year without yet another crisis.
Yes, well, at least this one is a bit manageable.
Well-
Captain Harriman, give me a difficulty 1 presence plus command roll as you kind of take charge of the situation, let everyone know that they can still enjoy their New Year festivities, but they will have to be transported out of the Arboretum and use the transporter biofilters to get rid of any infestation they might be carrying.
Okay. So good news is I rolled a 3. Bad news is I rolled a 20.
Okay. So, well, duh. Okay, so everyone believes you, Captain Harriman, and people calm down and kind of get back to their partying. The problem, as you roll a complication on your 20, is that you too start to itch, maybe in your lower back, right underneath your uniform.
Yeah. If we could, get the biohazard teams to hurry it up there, Doc. Let's see if we can get the more essential crew members out of here first.
Alrighty. What do I have to do for the engineering or
Give me,
transporter unit?
yeah. So you can, Lieutenant Tasai, the chief engineer, can work with you to make sure that the biofilters and the transporters are calibrated correctly. So give me a reason plus medicine roll. And it'll be difficulty 1, and I will have Lieutenant Tasai assist you. And I have her stats somewhere. Oh, right here. Okay. And hers will be reason plus engineering, which is a target number of 15. Yong, you want to roll a d20 and tell me if you get a 15 or less?
Just 1 d20? Coming right up. I got 13. Less.
Okay, so there's 1 success.
I got 1 success too.
Okay.
5, and I should have asked earlier. Does xenobiology count?
Sure. Yeah, this is alien life, and you've got to figure out what kind of biofilter is going to work to get rid of them through the transporter.
Okay, so we got 3 successes.
Okay.
So I'm able to do this with 1 hand.
So people who don't mind start to volunteer to be transported out of there because they just want the itch off of them. But somehow you manage, because you and Tasai spring into action so quickly with your innovative transporter biofilter solution, you salvage the party, and the clock starts counting down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And suddenly it is the new year. It is 2266 according to the ship's chronometers. And people are celebrating. What is going on with Captain Harriman?
At the moment, he's just waiting for his turn through the biofilters. Let's make sure everybody gets done first. I can take the itch.
What about Dr.
I don't know. Chief engineer is telling us we're running out of dilithium power here. Unless you get in front of the line, I don't think we're going to have enough juice for you. They're giving it all she's got, Captain.
Yeah, chief engineer had better have enough power left for me. And Commander Han, I believe you have some ideas as to where this infestation originated.
Is this going to be like a Star Trek 6 moment, right? Right when Hando's about to speak, he instantly gets transported away.
That would work.
Yes, exactly.
Hando's like, yeah, sure, I'll tell you it is. And then you get transported away and the itch is gone.
Han is about to explain the whole plan, but then the transporter effect washes over him, and he is transported somewhere outside of the Arboretum without any mites. And just as you look through the shimmering transporter effect as it dissipates, you see that young Andorian junior science officer still sort of combing through all of the plant life in the Arboretum with some kind of contraption with a little spray bottle on it.
I'll take a wander over and just kind of stand behind them, arms crossed.
Hando comes out behind a tree and joins the captain. It's like, I heard you, Captain. I just needed to take care of something real quick. And he joins the captain. What were you saying, Captain?
I got the impression that you had an idea where this infestation originated from.
Yes, sir. It was Lieutenant Tulak. He has brought in the organism to study it, as he is very fascinated by these mites.
Uh-huh. Perhaps you could pass the message on to the lieutenant that I hear the chief engineer is looking for someone to clean out the waste filters on deck 13. Perhaps he would volunteer for that. Let's
Yes,
say
sir.
for the next week.
I believe that is very fitting, sir.
I think that works for me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I feel I need a change of uniform.
Awesome. That's a perfect place to cut that scene, as you manage to salvage the New Year's party, and everyone goes through the transporter biofilters, and poor Ensign Tulak is going to have to spend some time cleaning out the biofilters on the holodeck as well. Cool. Okay, so next scene. We fast forward to maybe a day or two later, and we open on the bridge of the USS Venture, as Captain Harriman is about to make an entry in his captain's log. Paul, would you mind reading what I sent you?
Oh, well. Okay, so Captain's log, stardate 3372.7. We will arrive at the Bacchus system within the hour. Starfleet commanders ordered us there for 3 reasons. First, we're to track down 2 Starfleet officers who stole a shuttle and were last detected heading in this direction. No one's sure why they did it, but 2 people were killed, so they need to answer for their crimes. Next, reports from passing ships and nearby outposts speak of signs that the Klingons are headed towards the Bacchus system as well. We're to investigate to see if there are any truth in these reports. And finally, some strange and indecipherable signals have been emanating from the Bacchus system for the past several weeks. The venture is to search for the source of these signals and try to determine their meaning, if any.
Very good. So the Venture is just hours away from entering the Bacchus system, and you guys have 3 directives. One is to find and apprehend the 2 Starfleet officers who stole a shuttle and retrieve the stolen vessel somewhere in the Bacchus system. Second directive is to investigate reports of Klingon bird of prey violating the neutral zone and in this area. And the third directive is to search for and study the strange radio signals emanating from the Bacchus system. So how would you like to proceed?
Do we know if the signals are coming from any particular planet?
Someone can do a sensor scan to sort of zero in on these strange signals. That will be a difficulty 1, reason plus science roll.
We need an NPC to do that, don't we?
You certainly could. So Ensign Tulak is definitely not on the bridge, but who did we say is the chief science officer? I think we had one. Give me one moment. Lieutenant Talasa, a Vulcan woman, chief science officer.
Oh, yes.
She is standing in front of the little eye hole thing that you always see Spock
the periscope, yeah.
Exactly.
Or what was that like orange, like red toy we all had it where we put in like little things in, and then just the wheel to see different pictures. Okay, cool. What's the target number?
Yeah, it's going to be a 12, and this will be a difficulty 1.
Okay, cool. I got 1, 7, and then a 14, so 1 success.
A natural 1?
No, 7.
Oh, a 7. Okay. And then
I just said 1 success, not a natural 1.
Cool. And then if someone wants to roll for the ship to assist, you can do that.
I've got the ship's thing up. I'll do that.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Yes.
What's it going to be? Sensors and science?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Ooh, I rolled a 1.
Okay, awesome. So that's 2 successes on the natural one. So you got a total of 3. You needed 1. So you generate 2 points of momentum, and you now have 5 momentum banked. And so you are able to pick up these radio signals. They appear to be coming from the 4th planet in the system. You also notice, if you look at the little graphic that I have up on the screen, the 4th planet in the Bacchus system has a very strange orbit that goes very high up over the plane of the ellipticals. It's different from the other 6 planets in the system. So this planet sticks out like a sore thumb.
Can we spend an extra point of momentum to just get a few details, like is it Class M or not?
And and does it go through that peace sign?
So the first question, you spend 1 point of momentum per question. The first question, is it Class M? Yes, it is. What was the second question?
Just saying about that peace sign. Is it on there, like in the celestial plane?
I don't know what that peace sign is. I'm not going to make it.
You know, that's actually an advertisement for Mercedes.
Oh no! It's going to be that TNG episode about the people selling weapons. It's going to be a car dealership in space.
Okay, so 2 unusual things about the planet: the orbit and the fact that there are signals coming from it. Okay, let's make sure we drop out of warp and give it a reasonable sort of wide berth. Maybe do a few more scans before we come in close.
Cool. So, despite your order to take things kind of slow, your ship drops out of warp suddenly, and it lurches to a sudden stop. Several crew members tumble to the deck. On the main viewer, you see one of the planets of the Bacchus system, the 4th planet, Bacchus 4. Some sort of orange-colored beam from the planet's surface has enveloped the Venture. The lights flicker and consoles go dark. Whatever the beam is, it's interfering with the ship's power, controls, and other systems. Just before the main viewer goes blank, you see through the orange haze the surface of the planet. It's a little larger than the size of Earth, yet on the surface you clearly see structures, long lines that must cover thousands of miles, connecting geometrical shapes the size of large cities, as well as other indications of artificial construction. But then suddenly all the power kind of goes out on the bridge.
Presumably we've got somebody from engineering up here.
Sure.
Can we see if we can get some power back on here and maybe even get the shields up? And science, can we get an idea of what's hit us? And everybody just kind of keep it calm and check through your stations. Damage reports as soon as you can.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Okay, yes. So the first thing you said was to see if you can restore power. That's going to be a reason plus engineering task with a difficulty of 1. Since there's no communication down to engineering, perhaps one of you can give that a shot? And one of you can assist?
Alrighty. I'll continue rolling as the Vulcan. Let's see. What's the target number for that Vulcan?
It is an 11, reason plus engineering.
Cool. All right. I got 1 success.
Okay. Does anyone want to assist? See if you can get another?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll spend a momentum so that I could roll 2.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so you get that momentum right back. As Commander Han and who do we say that science officer is? Talassa. Kind of get down on the ground on the deck and pull out some of the wires and isolinear chips underneath some of the consoles, and you are able to restore power to the bridge. So different consoles and screens start to light up again. You hear the power kind of whir back on.
Can we get any sort of internal communications back as well? Can we find out from engineering what's happening?
Yes. And you are able to get main engineering on the ship's intercom. And Lieutenant Tasai in engineering says that the ship is being drastically affected by the strange orange energy beam from the surface of the planet.
Can we get shields?
No, sir. It appears the beam is both a scanner and a disabling mechanism. It's creating havoc on all sorts of ship systems.
Engines, then. Can we at least move away from it?
I believe so, sir.
Okay, give me as much power as you can. Let's see if we can back off as quickly as we can.
Okay, so whoever's at the helm, I believe we had an ensign named Emmeline Feinstein. I've got stats for her. So she's going to have to make a difficulty 2 control plus con task to try and move the ship into a safer orbit, because right now this orange energy beam is acting like a tractor beam, pulling the Venture closer and closer to the atmosphere of this planet. So her control plus con is going to be 15. It's difficulty 2. The ship can assist.
I'll roll for the ship.
Okay, I'll roll for her. 15, did you say?
I got a 10.
Okay, a 10 I think will be enough for the ship to get a success.
Yes.
I got a 4.
Everything in medical.
Sorry, I got a 4 and a 17.
Okay, so you got your 2 successes with the ship. As Ensign Feinstein, kind of sweating under pressure, working frantically at the helm at the front of the bridge, flip some switches, and you can see on the view screen that the ship appears to be stabilizing and starting to move up into a higher, safer orbit. But the orange energy beam is still kind of clutching the ship.
That's at least bought us a few minutes. Engineering, do you have an estimate on when we can have the mains back online?
Sir, I think the main problem is this energy beam. Until it is shut down, we are going to have very difficult time getting full power.
Okay, let's see if we can back off until the beam backs off.
In the meanwhile,
let's see how far away we can get.
In the meanwhile, I'll check the reference for the known weapons of this sort, Captain.
Yeah, work with the science team and see if we can figure out what this is and if there's any way of disrupting the beam.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Yong, and give me a reason plus security roll. Difficulty 2, as you maybe study some sensor scans of what's going on the planet's surface and try to figure out what's going on with this energy beam.
I got 1 success.
Okay, so with just 1 success, this thing is pretty mysterious. You can see that down on the planet's surface, there's these huge cyclopean structures, and this energy beam is definitely originating from one of those structures, but it's almost impossible to tell what the energy source might be, or who built it, or how powerful it really is. It's like nothing you've ever really seen before. You can rule out that it doesn't look Romulan, it doesn't look Klingon, it doesn't look like anything you've seen before.
Yeah, he relays that information. It's nothing that we've seen before, Captain. I don't think it belongs to any of the civilizations that we've encountered before.
Just once I'd like to run up against something that we have seen before. Okay, are there any tricks we can pull with the shields at all? Can we produce kind of a shearing force rather than trying to stop the beam dead? Can we try and deflect it somehow?
You can certainly try.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in your realm, Hando. You know, unarmed combat. Try and use your opponent's strength against them.
Well, I do understand that all sorts of energy disrupting weapons have phase. If we were to utilize that same frequency, we may be able to cancel it if we come up with the opposite phase.
Okay. Do what you need to do.
So what's your plan, Hando?
Yeah, he's gonna match the wave of the beam that's coming in, and then he's gonna shift the phase so that it's completely opposite of that. So instead of coherence, you have a complete interference and nullify it.
Yeah. Okay. So this seems like a really good plan to you, Hondo. You think it's going to work. As you start to do the calculations to figure out how you need to modify the energy signature of the shields, I'm going to spend 2 points of threat to create a complication. As when you match the frequency of this energy beam, it actually pierces right through the Venture's shields. And everything on the bridge just suddenly crackles with this mysterious orange energy. And suddenly, we're going to change scenes very suddenly as the three of you, Captain Harriman, Dr. Ozil, and Lieutenant Commander Han, suddenly feel yourselves shifted. It's not like a transporter because you can feel that energy kind of wash over you. This is almost like blink and you're in a totally different location. You suddenly realize you are down on the planet's surface and you're in it's a vast grassland, but rising up out of the grassland are these enormous monolithic structures that go up for hundreds of feet above your head. Some of them, they're in strange shapes. Most of them appear to be pentagonal. And one of these towers, you can see this giant glowing orange energy beam rocketing up into the atmosphere. You think that must be what's holding the Venture in place high overhead.
Okay, well, I'm glad we checked that it was a Class M world. I guess that's where we are.
Alrighty, could you tell me about why I'm here? I was in my medical bay. Everything was shaking. All of this, power's going out, and now I'm here.
Hando's eyes open up widely, and he's looking around. It's like, how did we end up here? It's not a transporter beam that we just experienced.
All very good questions. I'm more concerned with the why.
Well, then, I guess we need to go find the people that did this.
Well, they seem to have lit the way for us. There's a huge, great orange beacon right over there, so that seems like a good place to start, yes? Just a matter of interest, is anybody armed?
No.
He checks himself. It's like, and he looks at his own hand and he says, "My hands are a lethal weapon, Captain."
Do we even have our tricorders?
No. As you guys take stock of your surroundings and yourselves, you realize you're uninjured, but you do not have any of your equipment. No phasers, no communicators, no tricorders.
Okay, back to basics then. Just our training. Let's head off for that monolith.
All right, at least they let us keep our clothes.
Yeah, there is that.
And no mites.
So yeah, you start moving towards one of these enormous geometrical structures. It occurs to you this is probably one of those giant cyclopean structures that was visible just with the naked eye on your view screen when you were up on the ship, and it now towers in front of you. This gigantic pentagonal cylinder must have a diameter of at least 10 kilometers and is so tall you can't even see the top. It just kind of disappears in the haze overhead. It appears to be made from a single piece of stone, and no seams or other joints are apparent. Give me, as the three of you approach, give me a reason plus science task, all three of you. Difficulty 0.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, anyone beat 2 successes?
I got no clue. Science
Yeah,
is not
me
my
too.
strong point.
Okay, so
Two failures.
very good. So, Captain Harriman and Commander Han, definitely way out of your element here. Totally confused by this strange situation. But Dr. Ozil, as you stare at this giant structure in front of you, you think maybe you've seen this kind of material before. It looks almost like moon rock or like something like from a meteor or something. Like it doesn't originate on this planet, but it appears to be all formed out of one giant piece of stone, almost as if something carved up a meteor or a moon and brought it down onto the surface of this planet.
Alrighty, we're dealing with masons.
Masons, Doctor?
Oh, yes. The stonework, all of that. Able to bring this thing down apparently from space. I guess that's what the beam was for. And then they carved it and did all of this.
Are you saying that this is some sort of a stone carvers guild?
Or a secret society.
It reminds me of a tale involving Homer, but let us continue on.
Yeah, Hondo, as you guys continue to approach this structure, you almost, in this kind of knee-high or waist-high grass, you almost stumble onto a large case of, like a locker or a supply crate of some kind.
Oh, there's a supply cabinet?
Not a cabinet, like a crate that's been left there.
Yeah, he runs over there, and he rifles through it.
So the first thing you notice is the Klingon lettering on the locker, but you are able to open it up, and you see there are some supplies, some water, some rations that at least would be palatable to a Klingon, maybe not to a human stomach, some thermal blankets, an emergency surgical kit, and a single disruptor pistol.
Oh, dry gawk, Captain. And he pulls out the weapons.
Oh, look at the bright news. Look at the good news. Apparently one of our directives is done. We confirmed our Klingons.
Good news is at least we've got some equipment. Bad news is it means the Klingons are also here as well.
I wonder if they're captured like we were.
Does seem likely. We didn't detect any ships of theirs in orbit, but it's always possible that they were pulled down to the planet and they crashed here.
Yeah, and they would be not be away from their weapons by choice. That's for certain.
Yeah, they're probably also not going to be very happy that we've got them. Or happy with us in general, for that matter. Chances are they'll blame us for this.
They're probably going to be a lot happier to see a much more familiar face than whatever this is for the present moment.
Have you met a Klingon?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're generally not happy to meet anybody that's not another Klingon. And even then.
He arms himself with that disruptor pistol.
Cool. So you see that it's charged up and it appears to be in working order. And just for your information, the disruptor pistol, it's going to do damage equal to 3 plus your security discipline, Yong.
Okay.
And it's got the vicious 1 effect, which means it does an extra point of stress damage for every effect you roll. So just to keep that in mind, just in case that becomes relevant. Not saying it will.
Yeah, and it's a disruptor, so congrats on the war crime gun.
Yeah. Well, Captain, given the circumstances, I request a permission to use this weapon.
Yeah, just don't be too indiscriminate with it. Let's hold off on any shooting until we can assess any situation that occurs. But yeah, rules of engagement. You are free to fire if fired upon.
Yes, Captain.
After all, we don't want to provoke anything, either with the Klingons or with the inhabitants of this world. But yeah, by all means, keep the disruptor handy. Can we see any sort of way into this monolith at all? You said it's just featureless stone, no cracks or joints or anything.
Correct. But the wind carries voices around a curve, around the side of the structure. But correct, you see no obvious points of entry or windows of any kind.
Okay, do we know where the voices are coming from?
Yeah, you can sort of tell the direction if you want to move that way.
What's the temperature like? Is it hot, cold?
It's like moderate. It's maybe it's pretty breezy, but maybe I don't know, 50, 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice.
Kelvin.
Okay, well, let's see who's talking. I mean, we've got to find somebody down here, otherwise we're never going to find out what's going on.
So yeah, as you kind of round that turn along the edge of the structure, you see 8 creatures that are standing at the base of the monolith, looking up at the orange beam exiting the structure. From this distance, you can see that all the creatures are humanoid. 2 look human. 2 are Klingon with the Kucha Klingon with the smooth foreheads. 1 is Vulcan, another is Romulan, and the final pair look to be Trill. The Romulan looks at your group and points, causing the rest of the strange group to look in your direction. Then they quickly all go back to looking back up at the monolith.
Keep the disruptor out of sight for the moment, Commander.
I can't.
Yep. Well,
keep things up aboard.
yeah, I'll go walk up over there and see what they're looking at, and then try to ask us what's going on.
One of the 2 humans both wear Starfleet uniforms, and one of them, they're both women, human women. One looks at you and says, "We're trying to figure out how to get in."
Yeah, you and us both. Were you transported here against your will, like we were?
She kind of looks at you with a confused expression on her face, and she says, I don't really remember, but I know I need to get inside."
Do you have a ship nearby, in orbit, maybe?
I don't recall.
Captain, I believe
Okay.
these are the 2 Starfleet officers who may have stole the shuttle. That means that there may be a shuttle nearby.
Good point. We know the names of these 2 officers that we're looking for, presumably.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll check with them. I'll ask them if they are these 2 Starfleet officers.
It is indeed. Their names are Jana Fry, Lieutenant Jana Fry, and Ensign Camilla Shara. They say, yes, that's us.
So what exactly are you doing here?
We're trying to get inside.
Yeah, we get that, but you killed 2 people and stole a shuttle. Why?
Because we need to get inside.
Doctor, what's wrong with him?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned now because whatever pulled them here, whatever wants them to get inside, was clearly able to do that all the way back into the Federation. That's a hell of a distance to influence 2 people across.
And I take it everyone else wants to get inside. I just look around. And is there a creepy nod?
They say, yes, we would like to get inside now.
How long have you been waiting here outside?
Days? I don't know. We've lost track.
So whoever brought you here, did they give you any clues as to how to get inside? I mean, it seems a little strange that you came all the way here and now you don't know what to do next.
Well, no one brought us here. We just need to get inside.
Uh-huh.
Can you help us? Can you help us get inside this structure?
Absolutely. Okay, I'm all ears, guys. Let's.
I mean, what are we gonna do? Go up to the wall and say "Open Sesame"?
Well, stranger things.
If you say that this is artificially created, Doctor, there has to be some sort of a structure that would allow us to enter, perhaps. And Hando surveys the area to see whether if there is an entrance.
Sure. You and anyone else who wants to help in that can give me an insight plus science task with a difficulty of 2.
But why don't you guys go search for an entrance? I'll stay here and keep an eye on these people. Just in case.
Sure. Don't worry, Captain. I'm sure we'll be able to find it through woozing.
Oh, man. I got 1 success, but I rolled a complication. I rolled a 20.
Okay.
Insight
very
plus
good.
science?
Yes.
Alrighty, I got 2 successes.
Okay. So the 2 of you start to you walk up directly to the monolith and start kind of feeling around on the side of the smooth stone. And in fact, one of the people joins you. We'll say the Romulan, who's part of the group, and you start feeling along the side, and you actually find a control panel, and you press it, and suddenly, just like that orange energy beam is coming out the top of this enormous structure, a new sort of white colored beam flashes, and it creates like a spotlight on the ground after you push this panel on the wall.
And the Romulan isn't acting like a Romulan, being along the lines of this is just some trick that he's scum. He's like, I want to get inside too, or...
I mean, he's not acting aggressive or angry or difficult. It's almost like a totally vacant expression on his face.
Alrighty, that is completely uncomfortable.
But when that light turns on, the Romulan turns to you, Dr. Ozil, and says, somehow, I know that's going to help us get inside.
Looking at that light, is it like
nod.
burning, or is it doing anything to the ground that it's hitting? Is it like vaporizing or anything like that?
Nope, it's almost just like a very intense spotlight.
Okay. Hando tosses a branch or something up there into the spotlight.
Nothing happens, but the Romulan who approached the structure with you says, I think we need to stand in it.
No. We got nothing else to do, so I'll go check it out.
Do you stand in the circle created by the beam?
Yes.
Okay, when you do so, you disappear in a blink, just like you did on the Venture.
Captain, it seems like we found the entrance, and he steps into the spotlight as well.
Same thing happens to you. You disappear in a blink.
Okay, people, you want it inside? Away you go. Let's see if these other people that are here, the Klingons, Romulan, Vulcan, do they step into the light?
Yeah, the Romulan does, and the 2 humans do. The rest say, we will stay here and wait for you to report back.
Okay. All right. Somehow I had a feeling that this year would turn out to be just the same as the last one. Okay, I'll step into the light.
Okay, so the 3 of you, along with the 2 other Starfleet officers and the Romulan, have all stepped into this circle of light, and you, in a blink, appear what you assume to be inside the structure. You are now standing in a long corridor with strange technological lights sort of rippling through the living stone of the monolith, and the lights kind of pulse with a strange electronic energy, like a white-blue energy.
I don't know about you, Doctor, but it looks like its heart is beating.
Yes, well, there anything I can ascertain here? Like just staring around?
Not really. Give me. Actually, yeah. Go ahead and give me. Any of you can give me a reason plus science or an insight plus science with difficulty 2.
Science.
Are we all trying, or just one of us?
Any of you who would like to can try.
How much momentum do we have?
You have all 6. You got six points.
All right,
momentum.
I am going to buy 2 more dice.
Okay, so that's 3 points momentum.
I made mine.
Oh, never mind. Maybe you don't need to.
Nope, captain doesn't have a clue. Just like every captain does. That's why I have senior officers.
All right, I got good news. I got 2 successes too,
Excellent.
and one of them was a 20. So, what sort of ominous horrors from beyond do we discover?
Yes. Okay. Awesome. So glad to hear you say that, Miguel. Okay, so here's what happens. Dr. Ozil and Commander Han, you two start tracing these sort of electronic pulses that seem to be traveling along the wall of this corridor, and you see that one of them leads to some kind of computer readout. And you activate it, and it turns into a holographic display that's almost like a schematic of some kind of, it's a mechanical schematic, but it is of the entire planet. And you realize that this planet is actually artificial. It's all one enormous machine. And it all seems to be connected. And your mind boggles to think what kind of technology you would need to possess to engineer this planet-sized machine.
Look, Doctor, it's Unicron. Just kidding.
What's a Unicron?
I don't know, Doctor. It just came to me.
The complication, of course, is the Romulan who is accompanying you kind of moves off ahead and rounds a turn in the corridor. And as he does so, he steps into a different corridor, and suddenly all of the stone turns into like this blindingly white lit surface. And in an instant, in the blink of an eye, not even time to scream, the Romulan is vaporized.
Okay. What did he do immediately before?
He walked over there, and yeah.
He just walked over. Wow. This place is kind of unforgiving, yeah?
Yes, Captain. Let us not walk over there.
Any sign of anything that might look like a control panel, or I don't know, some sort of machinery, or
The place is trapped.
okay. Well, I'll just say it out loud. Okay, we're here. You brought us here. You've trapped my ship. You brought us down to the planet. You let us into your building. What is it you want? Why don't you come out and show yourselves?
In response, Captain Harriman, you don't hear any voices, but something strange does happen. And you're almost positive it is some kind of response to your question. As suddenly 3 more individuals blink into existence inside the structure with you. And you actually recognize one of them. They're all 3 Klingons. One of them is Commander Dragath, who you have run into a couple of times in the last year of your voyages. He is the commander of a Klingon battle cruiser and actually lost his family heirloom Batleth to Commander Han in a wrestling match.
Oh boy.
But since then, you've been able to sort of patch things up, and you have, it's certainly not a warm relationship, but there is a mutual respect between the 2 of you.
Yeah, I think I gave that heirloom back to him, right?
You did, and that's sort of what earned his respect. He appreciated that.
Good. Well, fancy meeting you guys here.
Yeah. What? How did you get here, Dragath?
Ah, you Earthers! I should have known you'd beat me here.
Well, it's good to see you, Dragath.
Good to see you too, Commander Han. Actually, I feel much better knowing that I have some friendly faces here. Two Klingons stole a small scout ship, and we tracked their warp trail into this system. When my battle cruiser, the Tem Drakag, entered orbit, some sort of powerful energy field enveloped the ship, and myself and my two officers here found ourselves transported against our will this place.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, same thing
It-
happened to us. Exactly happened to us. We were just about to find out what's going on, weren't we? Whoever you are. I'll go through the usual introductions as well.
There's two trills. There was. I don't think we're going to be alone here. There's probably a trill ship that also came and followed in with a shuttle story, and probably a Romulan too, right?
Dragath interrupts you and he says, well, we're certainly not going to find our answers talking about it. We must proceed down this corridor. And he starts walking in the direction where the Romulan disappeared.
Hando says,
Careful.
"Hold,
Whoa.
Dragath. We just saw a Romulan vaporized by walking over that direction."
Oh, okay. It appears I'm in your debt once again.
Yeah, I think while your instincts may want to move us forward quickly, I think we need to be very cautious here. Whoever these people are, they're obviously extremely powerful. They were able to influence not only some Federation officers, but your Klingon officers and Romulans, Vulcans, and Trill over interstellar distances. So we need to play things very carefully.
Captain, could it be that, like the last time we encountered those artificial life forms, could it be that this entire planet is a life form also?
I mean, you can't rule it out yet. So,
Well, it seems as though the building itself certainly seems to be alive. And that did seem to extend to the entire planet, so who knows?
is there any interfacing device nearby?
Let's stop right there and take a short break. And then when we come back, we'll talk about how you guys might be able to bypass this booby trap.
Yes. Cool. Okay.
So let's take 5. I'm going to grab another beer, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back. I don't know if the rest of you are yet.
Still here.
I'm back.
I'm back, baby.
Back.
Cool. Okay, so I just brought up a new image on the screen from the Shackleton Expanse book, and even though those Starfleet officers are wearing Next Generation era uniforms, this gives you a sense of what the interior of this enormous structure is like. I mean, it's mostly appears to be made of stone, but it's got these strange electronic components rippling through the stone of the structure, giving it a sense that it's both ancient but also highly advanced at the same time, and certainly very mysterious. So
this area that where the Romulan was zapped, can we see anything different about it? You know, is it a different color, different texture?
give me a daring plus science roll. The difficulty of 2. Anyone who wants to try can do it, or someone can assist.
You keep on saying science. The captain's like, what is that?
Or you could try some.
I'll roll. Let's see.
I managed 1 success.
I got a 2 and a 6.
I'm just looking for anything that sort of defines the area that is likely to be the area of effect here. What's the area that we would trigger as if we walked into?
Yeah, you get the sense that kind of rounding the corridor into this 90-degree angle, there's some sort of sensor that's going to completely eradicate any kind of organic matter that tries to pass through it.
I got
Ooh.
2 successes.
I'm sorry, what'd you say, Yong?
2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. So, Yong, tell me how you can come up with a way to temporarily fool this sensor. How is it that you were able to accomplish that?
Well, he looks around for the trigger, and being a security officer, he's familiar with typical traps. So he finds a particular area where he sees some sort of an opening or something, and he takes out his disruptor pistol and blasts it.
Yeah, so sometimes the best way can be pretty crude, pretty direct, and you are able to figure out where the sensor is located in this corridor, and with one well-aimed shot with the disruptor, you blast it. And there's a sound, kind of a whirring sound, as the electronics going along this corridor power down, and those strange blue-white lights go dim. But almost you get the sense you've got a little bit of time, but you also notice that the disruptor blast immediately starts getting repaired by some kind of unseen digital force. Like the structure is already starting to heal itself, but you've got a little bit of time.
I think that may have just bought us a little bit of time. If we pass, I believe we should be safe. And he takes the first step.
Let's get going.
Yeah, you screw up your courage, Han, and you step on into this corridor, and you sort of grit your teeth and hold your breath, and nothing happens. You appear to be safe for the moment.
Nice.
Okay, run.
He runs.
Run.
Yeah, so everyone in your group, you can hear the heavy boot falls of the Klingons as they bring up the rear, and you guys are able to all run through the corridor and get to the other end unscathed.
Excellent. That's something. Okay. What next?
Okay.
Where are we now?
Yes, there is a sort of corkscrew-shaped ramp leading upward.
Let's be on the lookout for those trap sensors.
Yeah, so let's just keep an eye out. Yeah, as you said.
Okay, let's take it slow and easy.
So yeah, the whole group is able to go upward along this ramp, and it deposits you into a large pentagonal room that is most of the stone you've seen thus far has been basically smooth and plain. When you get into this room, you see that it just bristles with electronic communications. And as you all enter this big hexagonal, or I'm sorry, pentagonal room, a bunch of holographic displays automatically come to life. And the who are the people that were here on the planet? The two Starfleet officers that came with you. The Romulan is now dead, but the two Starfleet officers immediately start to like go up to some of these controls and start trying to operate them.
I think we need to stop them, Captain, just so they don't get killed.
Captain? I think you're muted.
Oops, sorry, fumbling for the mute button there. Got too many windows open. Yeah, let's restrain them for the moment until we can figure out exactly what all this does. Can we at least try and, get in between them and the panels and try and move them back? I don't want to get violent with them, but we do want to stop them, preferably.
Yeah, as you get between them and these controls, one of them kind of, for the first time, that vacant expression on her face is replaced by something that looks a little more fierce. And she says, "Our answers are here. I'm certain of it. You have to let me operate these controls, Captain."
Why? What exactly are you trying to do?
I don't know, but I know the answers are here.
Guys, what do you think? I'm thinking we should let them. They've obviously been brought here for a purpose, and we're not going to find out what it is.
Yes, but we should probably also be cautious and ensure they don't get killed.
I too am curious to find out, but I just wonder whether if it's posing us a great security risk.
Okay, well let's see if we can keep them back for the moment. Who's got the better science rating here? And I'll give you a clue, it's not me.
So I'll volunteer for the science check.
Can we get any idea what these controls do? At least for like a minute or two before we decide to let these people do what they've come here to do.
Yeah, so as you take a moment, you stop these two Starfleet officers from just jumping in and pushing buttons. And you take a moment to look at some of the holographic displays, and a lot of them just don't make any sense to you. They're streaming information just too fast, and it's too complex for you to make much sense of. But a couple things do look like you might be able to make sense of them. One appears to display a map of the galaxy with bits of red highlighting different points, including the Bacchus system. The greatest concentration of lights is in an unexplored region deep within the Beta Quadrant, even further beyond Klingon space. Another display shows a representation of twin orange beams that appear to end with representations of a Klingon battlecruiser and a Constitution-class starship.
Okay, that's the important part. Next question is, can we shut those beams off somehow? Or, well, while the doctor tries to figure this out.
Can we tell the lettering on that Constitution-class ship?
Yeah, you definitely think that it's the Venture, and that somehow this display is showing that these beams have trapped both your ship and the Temdracog. And as you, Dr. Ozil, as you start looking at some of this data, you see that the stresses on the hulls of both ships is getting close to critical.
See if you can figure this out, Doc. In the meantime, I'll turn to these two Starfleet officers and just say, look, I'm going to let you at the controls, but you must shut off the beams to the two ships first. Do what you come here to do, but we must shut down those beams before our ships are destroyed. Do you understand?
Who are you addressing, Paul?
The two Starfleet officers that want to get at the controls.
Yes. Yes, we understand. We just need the answer. We need the answer, Captain.
Okay, do you think you can figure this out, Doctor? Or should we?
Yeah, sure. Don't worry. Jim, what do I have to roll to pull a homer?
So to try and shut off the beams, it's going to be a daring plus science task with a difficulty of 4. And one of you can assist, and you've got a full complement of momentum at your disposal.
All right. I'm going to roll all 5 dice. Daring plus science. That's going to be a 14. And we'll see about this. I'll purchase all of this.
Does someone want to assist as well? Then roll 1.
Sure.
Hey, you can have one of the Klingons assist. Backseat. That'll be great.
The daring plus 2 is 13, so I'm wondering whether that's good enough.
The Klingons, General Dragath stands aside. He says, you know, if you need something cut with a batleth, I'm your man, but I'm afraid this is far beyond me.
Okay.
All right, Doctor. Let me help you as well. Do I roll just 1d6? 1d20 or
1d20, correct.
All right. So under 13, 10. Nice.
Yes. Okay, I got all 4 successes.
So you got a total of 5?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Hans? Okay. So you can generate a point of momentum.
I'm going to use it to improve the success. So we're going to get both ships freed right quick.
Okay. Yes, you are able to figure out how this device works, and you see that those orange beams attached to both vessels dissipate.
Excellent work, Doctor. We've done it.
That's good. Good. And secretly, they did not know I pulled a homer. So it's like that Simpsons episode where Homer's in the dictionary.
I'm going to have to look that one up.
However, I'm going to spend some threat here.
Good.
As Miguel, as you were looking at that holographic display, you did see, even though you're able to shut down the beam, both beams, you saw from the data streaming in from the Klingon ship, the Temdracog, that its warp core was overloading. And at the same time, as you lowered the energy beams, a voice is piped into the room, a sort of automated, artificial sounding voice. And it says, "Your access to our technology has put you in danger. This system will be destroyed. Use the teleportation field to return to your ship and leave the star system immediately." And a purple beam of light plays a spotlight on the floor. And the message starts to repeat.
Uh-oh.
We got to get the
Telling us
people
to leave the
outside.
star system. So whatever is going to happen could affect the entire system.
And there's other life here too, right?
There is other life on this planet, no sentient life.
No, I meant it's like sentient life in this system.
No, this is the only inhabited planet. in the
Okay,
system.
okay. This is then we'll be like, oh, we got to save this primitive civilization because we messed it up.
How much time do we have?
You start to feel the ground beneath you start to rumble as you get the sense that, and you look at the holographic readouts, and it appears that there's huge amounts of energy being built up at the core of this artificial machine planet.
It seems like we gotta go, Captain. Drageth.
Yeah, I agree completely. Let's get these people out first.
Yeah, let's get that going first.
We try to drag those 2 women out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
They want to stay. Give me. They sort of like try to cling to some of the machinery. And they say, "No, the answers are here. I know it. The answers that we need are here." So anyone who wants to try and physically pull them away, give me a daring plus security roll.
Yeah, that's gonna.
I think this is the point where the Klingons can help.
Yes, they totally can.
I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
Give me,
Critical success and 2 successes.
okay.
I can manage 2 as well.
Okay, 2 is enough. They only got 1. So, Commander Han, you're able to grab one of them. Captain Harriman, you grab the other, and they're still they try to cling to the controls, but you are able to overpower them and pull them into this purple energy beam that has appeared at the center of the room, and you're all swept up in it. You and the Starfleet officers and the Klingons. And in the blink of an eye, you realize you are now standing on the bridge of a Klingon ship.
Uh-oh.
Okay, quick question. Are the Klingons with us? Or are
Yes,
they
they-
on the other ship?
No, they are. The whole group is with you, but you hear a voice say, "What is this intrusion?"
You're welcome. Plan is about to go critical. Does your communications work?
One of the Klingons who had been in command while Dragath was on the surface says, we did a great deal of damage to our engines trying to resist that energy beam. We need desperate repairs, or we're not going to have enough power to get out of orbit."
Okay,
Well,
I need to contact my ship then. If we can get back over there, perhaps we can get a tractor beam on you and tow you out.
If anything, I'll head down to engineering.
Okay, very good. So we will kind of do this split screen. So first, we'll stick with Dr. Ozil as you rush down to the Klingon engineering room. It's like hot and humid, and there's red.
Foxy design.
Yeah, exactly. Red hue.
It's like having the set of Star Trek 4.
That's exactly how it is. Give me an insight plus engineering roll, difficulty 2, as you look at this Klingon engine and try to diagnose what's wrong.
Yes, exactly. Okay. I am going to spend a momentum.
You don't have any.
No, I meant determination. That thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So you get
Danger is
that
our
counts as-
mission. And do I need to say declare it beforehand so I can get the natural 1, or just a reroll?
You just get the natural 1.
Okay.
But then I want you to. So what? You have to have.
Oh yeah. Danger is our mission. This is like. I do not want to blow up. I saw a very horrifying room where a Romulan disappeared. I want to get these engines working, so I'm just looking at all of this. It's a completely different language, and this is the point where when you take Klingon as an elective, and then haven't used it in years, that now it's like, oh God, which one is the on button? All of this. It's like lots of pressure right now. So
And what was the value one more time ago?
danger is our mission.
Danger is our mission. Yes. Okay. This is certainly dangerous. So you recognize that when the Venture first realized that you were being overpowered by this orange beam, you had your helmsman do some fancy flying to get the ship up into higher orbit. For some reason, the Klingons didn't do that, and so the ship has just been pulled down into this low orbit. And so you think that you can probably get these engines fired back up, but you're going to need someone to pull you up a little bit higher before you can do that.
I'm gonna go ahead. Where's like the little communicator in to let the bridge know is we're gonna need a tractor, but I think I can get the engines going. We just need a little push.
So that message gets piped into the bridge where Captain Harriman and
Okay, what
Commander
kind
Han,
of push were you thinking of? Tractor beam?
Tractor beam at the very least. If that doesn't work, we'll figure something out.
I didn't hear that, Miguel.
I said tractor at the very least, my friend. Or am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Can you hear him, Paul? Could you hear that?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Tractor at the very least. If something else, we'll figure it out.
Sorry, I didn't hear the part where I'd accidentally hit the mute on the tab on the browser. Okay, go laugh it up.
Uh-huh.
So, what do you need?
Can you get in contact with your ship?
Will Klingons
The
let me?
Venture actually works.
Yes, Dragath trusts you. He knows you well enough to trust you. He says, yes, contact your ship, Captain.
Okay, let's open a channel to the Venture then. First of all, quick damage report. Do we have engines and a tractor beam?
Yeah, so you get Lieutenant Tasai, the chief engineer, who's been in command since you disappeared, and she says, yes, sir, all systems, we sustain minor damage, but systems are nominal, and we have a course laid in to get out of this system. We're reading massive amounts of power buildup coming from the planet.
Okay, I need you to lock onto the source of this transmission, the Klingon scout ship with a tractor beam, and start towing us out of here as fast as you can.
Very good, sir.
Be aware that the Klingons may well be able to start their engines after we get moving, so they may take off independently.
Cool. So someone is going to need to roll for Tasai.
I can do that.
And someone's going to need to roll for the Venture. But Tasai, this is going to be control plus security, which is an 11 for her, as she locks on the tractor beam under the Tendrakog. And someone can roll for the Venture, which will be...
I got a 4 for the Venture, so I think that succeeds.
Yeah, that's a success. So it would have been 12 was the target number. So one success.
Okay. And she gets one success as well.
Okay. So that will work. You need 2 successes on the tractor beam as you feel the ship. You can feel the deck of the Tendrakog jerk beneath your feet as the ship is literally pulled out of the upper atmosphere of the planet by the Venture's tractor beam. But Miguel, still down in the engine room of the Klingon ship, you're going to need to jumpstart these engines, which is going to be daring plus engineering with a difficulty of 2. This is a Klingon ship.
I'll give you a threat, and I'm going to roll 3 dice.
Okay.
Alrighty, at least I got the 2 successes, but you got a threat, so that's cool.
Okay. So you describe for me what it is you have to do to jumpstart these Klingon engines.
I mean, it's a lot more like hands-on. It's like realizing the terminal isn't going to work, so I actually have to like go out to like the reactor and like do like manual bypasses. It's Klingon stuff isn't pretty. It's very much made for use, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can shock myself and get myself really hurt if I'm not careful.
Try good old percussive maintenance.
That never works.
Works on
And
computers.
then you do and then that slam on top, and then it starts working. And you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. Just as you get done saying, "Oh, that never works," yeah, and you slam your arm down on this rusty, greasy old engine, and it starts to clang and chug, and the engines power up as both ships speed out of the system. But looking behind you, or at least with sensors, you see that the entire system just seems to sort of collapse in on itself. And just as both ships speed out of the system, there's no more Bacchus system. Completely destroyed.
Star and planet.
Yes. But not in like a big like shockwavy sort of way, almost like it almost sort of collapses in on itself, and then it's like as if it never existed in the first place.
Okay, that's pretty impressive. We don't know much about the people that built this place, but I kind of think we ought to. Okay,
Yeah.
so the next problem is we're now on a Klingon ship.
I think they're probably going to want to get everything up and going. So probably also want us off the ship too. So odds are we'll probably just be doing a sort of exchange.
Yep. Captain, if it's okay with you, now that we're out of danger, we'll be returning to our ship.
Very good, Captain Harriman. Once again, it appears that our alliance has been fruitful.
Absolutely. And even though the circumstances were not ideal, it is good to see you again.
Indeed. And then Drakog turns over to Commander Han and gives him a hard slap on the back.
Ow, that hurts. And then he smiles and he returns that slap.
I'll have a barrel of blood wine transported aboard the Venture for you.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Oh, that should make for an interesting New Year's celebration.
It's always a pleasure with you, Dragath.
Until next time, my Earther friends.
Until next time.
Until next time.
So he escorts you to the transporter room of the Temdrakoth, and you, along with the two surviving Starfleet officers, are transported back to the Venture.
So Hando begins interrogating the two personnel, and
can we get the doctor to take a look at them as well? They seemed unaware of what they were doing, so I'd like to see if there are any medical effects from that.
So the two, Dr. Ozil, why don't you go ahead and do medical? We'll cut to the sick bay.
Yeah, sure.
And by all means, go ahead and interrogate them, Commander.
He says, "Who is?"
I got an 18 and a 19. That is definitely not within reason in medicine. So it's stuff that's beyond my understanding.
Say that again.
18 and 19. So no successes.
Yeah. So
odds are I don't even know what happened to them.
No, yeah. So we cut to the sick bay where you give both of these officers a full medical workup, and you see no evidence of that anything was ever wrong with them. They both claim that they have no memory of the last several days. They don't remember stealing a shuttle. They certainly don't remember killing anyone. And you see no medical evidence of injury or neurological signs that anything was ever wrong. You are totally perplexed as to what happened to these two officers.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say is great. Now, everything we know about Starfleet Medical is gonna get rewritten again. Isn't that great? All that studying wasted.
Well, Doctor, I mean, we did witness an entire solar system vanish, and that's something that's very difficult for us to wrap our heads around.
Oh, we're going to be wrapping our heads around this for a long time, my friend.
It is kind of a frightening level of technology, isn't it? It's unlike anything we've seen before. Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to prepare a report for Starfleet. I think they ought to know about this as soon as possible.
Yeah, do let them know is that the shuttle's not going to be in Klingons' hands because the whole system went with the shuttle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Captain Harriman, as you prepare your report for Starfleet Command, almost immediately after that, you get a reply from an Admiral Banna Stoker, and she orders the Venture to change course immediately and rendezvous with her flagship, the USS Lexington. And she tells you are under strict radio silence. The message ends with, "Tell no one what you saw in the Bacchus system." And you are ordered to transfer both of the officers that you picked up to the Lexington upon rendezvous.
Yeah. I will respond to the Admiral's message with an affirmative, and we'll get the helm to change course for rendezvous with her ship as quickly as possible. Sounds like Starfleet really does want to know what we've been up to. Doctor and Commander, if there's anything you'd like to add to my report or make reports of your own, it seems we have a Starfleet Admiral very interested in what we saw.
Okay, that's great. That's just going to be a lot of paperwork.
Well, include as much detail as you can, but let's not mention the barrel of blood wine.
Yeah, don't worry about
They're
it.
going to find out a lot sooner than later, Captain. They're probably going to go ahead and even find the mites we missed.
I mean, an entire solar system has vanished. How could we keep that a secret?
Well, we'll just have to try our best, but we've been ordered by a Starfleet Admiral, so it doesn't look like we have a lot of choice.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Doctor or Captain, what do you make of that strange structure that we saw? What exactly was that?
Whatever it is, it's able to mess with human psychology and our neural pathways to the point people are able to forget the past few days and just have some sort of crazy urge. And that just affects humans, but apparently also Klingons, Romulans, all of that.
Yep, the scope and the range of it is frightening.
Not only its effect on us, but it made an entire solar system vanish. I mean, that's in the realm of divine intervention. That's bigger than anything that we've ever witnessed before, beyond regular technology or anything natural.
I can see why Admiral Stoker wants to keep it quiet, which reminds me, by the way, Commander, I hate to do this, but we need to put some kind of a filter on outgoing communications. We don't want anybody on board mentioning this in any official or personal communications.
Yes, Captain. What about our interaction with the Klingons? I mean, they are privy to what we've experienced. They were there together.
Well, the encounter with the Klingons has been reported in my report, so there's nothing much we can do about it now. That's the kind of thing that falls under an admiral's pay grade.
More importantly, if we do anything with the Klingons, that's just going to be along the lines of escalating the current tense situation. Odds are, a system that can disappear like that is going to get both sides nervous.
Yep.
From what we saw while we were in that structure, it seemed to have some sort of a link far beyond the Beta Quadrant. That's beyond the Klingon territory, right? In that general direction.
It certainly seemed to cover a lot of ground, didn't it? I mean, we saw multiple red dots on that display, only one of which was in the Bacchus system. Unfortunately, we didn't have any way to record even roughly where the other dots were on that display. So we have no way really of pinning down where these other areas of effect are.
Interesting. Well, it seems like we have just as many unknowns as we started with.
Well, we have our sensor readings from when we entered the system, so we should at least be able to identify that type of energy should we encounter it again. Possibly the same for the construction and materials.
Yes, Captain.
Well, that just means is science is going to be very busy, and odds are our data banks are going to get wiped about all of this because odds are that's going to be highly classified Starfleet. So
perhaps in the meanwhile, we could research a way to counteract against that orange beam that neutralized all of us.
It's certainly worth getting the science teams on it, just on the off chance that we encounter it again.
Yes, Captain.
We can use whatever sensor information we've got available, see what we can come up with. It's not certain, but we might be able to come up with something. In the meantime, now that we appear to be mite-free and a barrel of blood wine in hand, I feel like we should resume our New Year's celebrations.
Well, definitely being back here on the ship, alive, after that ordeal, it definitely turned my mood around. I'm glad to be alive back aboard Venture in this brand new year.
You're the only person I know that can get depressed when nothing happens and become happy when he has a brush with death.
Now, about that classic rap, and he begins reciting California Love from 20th Century.
Yeah, okay, no, cut.
That sounds like a good place to end the scenario.
Yes, I'm actually concerned Yong is going to start rapping.
Yes, exactly. As soon as he opens his mouth to begin beatboxing, the credits roll. So that is Bacchus's Irresistible Call. It is part one of the multi-part campaign in the new Shackleton Expanse book from Star Trek Adventures. Thank you guys for playing with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Cool.
Good to get back into it after so long.
Yeah. So let's. So next time we will have the rendezvous with the USS Lexington. Have a little powwow with the Admiral, and we'll see where this goes from there.
Awesome.
All right. Very good.
Cool.
I'm going to end the broadcast right now. Thanks everybody for watching.